Most people come into trading believing the same thing, that success comes from doing more analysis, more screen time, more trades, more effort. They treat trading like a job where activity equals progress. That belief is exactly why most traders lose. Trading is not a game of action, it's a game of waiting. And the best traders understand that early or learn it the hard way. If you've ever felt guilty for not trading, hit the like button. That feeling alone explains more losses than bad strategies ever will. The hardest part about trading isn't learning setups. It's learning how to sit still while nothing is happening and not convince yourself you're missing out. Most people can't tolerate that, so they manufacture action, and the market charges them for it. There's a trader out there who spends all day watching charts, multiple monitors, multiple time frames. He takes pride in being locked in. He believes if he just watches closely enough, he'll catch every opportunity. His days are full of trades, his account isn't. Meanwhile, there's another trader I who checks the charts maybe 3 times a day. He has specific levels, specific times. If price isn't there, he walks away. He looks lazy compared to the first guy, but month after month, he's consistent. The difference wasn't intelligence, it was patience. The market doesn't reward effort, it rewards timing. And timing requires waiting. Most traders don't lose money because they don't know what to do. They lose money because they don't know when to do nothing. That's the edge nobody wants to practice because it feels unproductive. Waiting feels like wasting time. Action feels like progress. That illusion destroys accounts. Early in my trading, I believed I needed to be active to be successful. If I wasn't trading, I felt behind. If I missed a move, I felt stupid. If price was moving and I wasn't in, I felt like I failed. So I traded. Not because I had an edge, but because I didn't want to feel left out. Those were some of my worst trades. The trades that hurt me most weren't bad setups. They were good setups taken at the wrong time, or mediocre setups taken because I was bored. I wasn't trading the market. I was trading my need to feel involved. The market punishes involvement without patience. The best traders I've ever met all had one thing in common. They were comfortable doing nothing. They didn't feel pressure to trade. They didn't need constant validation. They didn't equate action with competence. They waited. And when they acted, it was deliberate. That's the part people miss. Waiting doesn't mean being passive, it means being selective. It means you already decided what matters and you ignore everything else. Most traders haven't decided what matters yet, so everything looks important. I once sat next to a trader during a live session and watched him take exactly one trade in 4 hours. Just one. He entered, managed it, exited, and closed his platform. I asked him why he didn't trade more. He said something simple. Nothing else met my criteria. That answer sounded obvious, but it took me years to understand what it really meant. He wasn't waiting for excitement, he was waiting for permission from his rules. Most traders wait for feelings, that's why they overtrade. Patience in trading isn't about personality, it's about structure. The traders who wait aren't patient people by nature. They've just removed reasons to act prematurely. They've accepted a truth most people resist. Most of the time, the best decision in trading is no decision. That's uncomfortable because it gives you nothing to do. No dopamine, no feedback, no confirmation you're on the right track. Waiting requires trust. Trust in your plan. Trust in probability. Trust that opportunities will come back. Impatient traders don't trust any of that. They trust urgency instead. Urgency is expensive. If you've ever taken a trade just because price was moving, comment, "Been there." That awareness matters. Another reason waiting feels hard is because trading culture glorifies action. People post entries, wins, screenshots. Nobody posts the hours of nothing, the days they didn't trade, the discipline to sit on their hands. So new traders think success looks busy. It doesn't. Success looks boring. It looks like passing on trades. It looks like closing the platform early. It looks like not reacting. And that's why most people never get there. They want trading to feel rewarding every day. The market doesn't work that way. The market pays patience over time. I remember a stretch where I finally started trading less. Fewer trades, tighter criteria, more waiting. And something interesting happened. My results improved, but my confidence dipped. Why? Because I wasn't doing as much. That's a dangerous phase. You feel like you're falling behind even as your behavior improves. That's where most traders panic and revert to old habits. They confuse calm with stagnation. The best traders recognize calm as control. If this is starting to click, subscribe. Not because this channel promises action, but because it teaches restraint in a world obsessed with movement. The reason patience works in trading isn't philosophical, it's mathematical. Markets don't offer opportunity evenly, they cluster it. Long stretches of noise, short bursts of clarity. Most traders treat all moments as equal, and that's why they struggle. They spread their risk across randomness instead of concentrating it where probability is highest. Waiting is how you avoid paying for noise. Most price movement is meaningless. It exists to transfer money from impatient traders to patient ones. The market needs activity to function, but it doesn't reward activity equally. It rewards selectivity. I once reviewed a trader's journal who was frustrated with his results. He said he traded almost every day and still couldn't get ahead. When we broke it down, something obvious appeared. His best trades came from the same two conditions: same time window, same type of setup, same behavior. Everything else was just filler. When I asked him why he traded outside those conditions, he said, "I didn't want to miss anything." That sentence explains the entire problem. The fear of missing out pushes traders into low-quality environments. Slow sessions, choppy markets, random moves. They trade because price is moving, not because probability is present. The best traders don't ask, "Is the market moving?" They ask, "Is the market offering something worth taking?" That question changes everything. Waiting allows you to avoid bad environments, and avoiding bad environments does more for your account than finding great entries ever will. Most losses don't come from bad trades. They come from trades that never needed to exist. I knew a trader who only traded the first 90 minutes of the session. After that, he shut everything down. People thought he was limiting himself. In reality, he was protecting himself. He told me something that stuck. He said the market gives me one or two good opportunities a day. Everything else is a test of patience. That's how professionals think. Waiting also protects you from emotional fatigue. Every trade costs mental energy, decision-making, focus, stress. The more you trade, the more depleted you become. Depletion leads to mistakes. Mistakes lead to losses. Losses trigger emotion. Emotion triggers more trades. It's a spiral. The traders who wait conserve energy. When opportunity appears, they're sharp, clear, present, not tired from fighting noise all day. That's an edge most people ignore. Another reason patience works is because it aligns with uncertainty. Markets are uncertain by nature. Waiting acknowledges that. Impatience tries to eliminate it through action. When you wait, you accept not knowing. When you force trades, you pretend certainty exists. The market punishes that illusion. Waiting is not about predicting less. It's about acting less until conditions align. I once watched two traders trade the same market. One took 6 trades in a session, one took 1. The one trade was clean. The 6 trades were scattered. Guess who ended the day calmer and more consistent? Consistency comes from filtering, not frequency. Another subtle advantage of waiting is that it reduces emotional attachment. When you trade constantly, each trade matters more because you're invested in staying active. When you trade selectively, no single trade feels important. That emotional distance improves execution. You don't need the trade to work. You're willing to walk away. That willingness is power. The market can feel that. If you've ever noticed that your best trades happen when you don't care whether they win or lose, that's not coincidence. That's emotional neutrality doing its job. Waiting also forces clarity. When you know you're only allowed to trade under specific conditions, everything else becomes irrelevant. Charts get cleaner, decisions get simpler. Doubt decreases. Most traders feel overwhelmed because they're trying to process too much. Too many setups, too many timeframes, too many what-ifs. Waiting eliminates that. Another story, I once asked a trader why his results improved after he reduced his trades by more than half. He said something simple: "I stopped arguing with the market." That's what waiting really is, not arguing. You stop trying to convince price to do something, you let it come to you. If it doesn't, you don't fight it. Most traders are in a constant argument with the market, entering early, holding too long, exiting late, adjusting stops. They're always trying to impose their will. Waiting removes that friction, if this part is resonating like the video. Not because patience sounds good, but because you recognize how often impatience has cost you. The reason most traders can't wait isn't because they don't understand patience. It's because waiting feels empty. And emptiness makes people uncomfortable. Like when nothing is happening, the mind starts searching for stimulation. It starts creating stories. Maybe I should check another time frame. Maybe I'm missing something. Maybe today is different. That mental noise is boredom disguised as analysis. Boredom is one of the most dangerous emotions in trading. Fear at least makes you cautious. Boredom makes you careless. I've seen more bad trades come from boredom than panic. Traders feel fine emotionally, calm, not stressed, just restless. And restlessness pushes them to act. They don't trade because they see an edge. They trade because they want something to happen. That's expensive. I remember a day where I told myself I would only trade one setup. The session was quiet. Price moved, but not in the way I wanted. 30 minutes passed. Then an hour, nothing. That's when the thought started. What if I'm being too strict? What if this is the move and I miss it? What if waiting is just an excuse for fear? Those thoughts are seductive because they sound reasonable. I took a trade that didn't fully qualify. It lost. And the loss wasn't the worst part. The worst part was realizing I broke my own rule just to escape boredom. That trade taught me something important. Waiting doesn't feel productive, but breaking rules feels worse. Another reason boredom is dangerous is because it disguises impatience as curiosity. Traders start exploring, scanning more markets, zooming into lower time frames, looking for anything that feels actionable. The more you look, the more you convince yourself something is there. The market always has something happening. That doesn't mean it has something worth trading. Professional traders know the difference. They're not impressed by movement. They're impressed by conditions. Boredom also creates a false sense of urgency. When you've been waiting for a while, any movement feels significant. You've been starved of action, so the first hint of opportunity looks bigger than it is. That's when traders overestimate probability. I've watched traders take weak setups late in the session just because they hadn't traded all day. They didn't want to waste the day. That mindset is poison. A day with no trades is not a wasted day. It's a disciplined one. Some of the best trading days I've ever had were days I didn't trade at all. That sounds strange until you understand that trading is about protecting capital, not using it. Waiting also exposes identity issues. Many traders subconsciously tie their identity to being active. If they're not trading, they don't feel like traders, so they trade to confirm who they are. That's backwards. You don't trade to prove you're a trader. You trade because conditions allow it. If you feel uncomfortable calling it a day without a trade, that discomfort is telling you something important about your relationship with action. I knew a trader who kept a detailed journal. One line in it stood out. On a day where he forced multiple trades, he wrote, "I just didn't want to feel like I wasted the session." That sentence revealed everything. He wasn't trading to make money. He was trading to justify time spent. The market doesn't reward time spent. It rewards timing. Another reason waiting feels hard is because patience delays feedback. When you trade frequently, you get constant feedback. Wins, losses, P&L changes. That feedback feels engaging. When you wait, there's nothing to react to, no scoreboard. That lack of feedback can make you question yourself. Am I doing the right thing? Am I missing something? Am I falling behind? The answer is usually no, but the mind doesn't like silence. That's why the best traders fill waiting time with anything except analysis. They step away, they read, they work out, they do something unrelated. They don't stare at the chart trying to manufacture certainty. Staring breeds action. Waiting requires distance. Another subtle sabotage during waiting periods is overpreparation. Traders tell themselves they're being productive by refining plans, adjusting rules, or reviewing charts while waiting. Sometimes that's helpful. Often it's avoidance. Overpreparation is impatience wearing a mask. If you constantly tweak your plan during quiet periods, it's a sign you don't trust it yet. Trust takes time. Waiting builds it. Before we move on, if you've ever felt that uncomfortable urge to trade just to feel engaged, like the video, not because it's flattering, but because it's honest. Patience in trading isn't something you wake up with one day. It's something you build by design. The traders who wait aren't more virtuous. They've simply removed most of the opportunities to act impulsively. Waiting becomes an edge when it's structured. The first way to train patience is to define when you are allowed to trade, not when you want to trade. Specific sessions, specific times. Outside of that, you're not waiting. You're done. That single boundary removes countless bad trades. The second is to define what qualifies as a trade before the session begins. Conditions, not feelings. If price doesn't meet those conditions, nothing else matters. Most traders wait for confirmation emotionally. Professionals wait for confirmation structurally. Another powerful way to build patience is to limit how many trades you're allowed to take in a session. One, two, maybe three. When trades are limited, selectivity increases automatically. Scarcity creates discipline. I once asked a trader why his patience improved dramatically. He said, because I stopped giving myself unlimited chances. That's how waiting stopped feeling like restraint and started feeling like control. Another shift is redefining what a good day looks like. A good day is not green. A good day is executed. A day where you followed your plan. A day where you didn't force trades. A day where you walked away when nothing was there. If you can call that a win, patience becomes easier. Another critical piece is learning to exit waiting properly. Waiting doesn't mean staring at the chart for hours. That just increases temptation. Waiting means stepping away and letting alerts, levels, or time do the work. The best traders aren't glued to screens. They've built systems that notify them when attention is required. Everything else is ignored. Waiting also requires trust and repetition. You don't need every opportunity. You need enough over time. Missing one trade does nothing to long-term results. Forcing one bad trade does. That trade-off is everything. Before we wrap this up, if this video helped you rethink how you approach time and action in trading, share it with someone who feels like they have to trade every day to be successful. And if you want more content like this that focuses on discipline, patience, and longevity instead of hype, subscribe. This channel is about mastering restraint in a world that rewards noise. I'll leave you with this. Trading is not a test of how fast you can react. It's a test of how long you can wait without self-sabotage. The best traders don't win by doing more. They win by doing less, better. And once you truly understand that, trading stops feeling like a grind and starts feeling controlled. That's when patience stops being a weakness and becomes your edge.